Hi everyone, it's the Sandman, just checking in for another video. So I haven't made a video in a while, but I wanted to post this one because it's a really good topic. It's been on the YouTube radar for a bit here. And the question is, why is the security field struggling? So you guys all probably know that the security field doesn't really have a good reputation, especially because of movies like Paul Blart Mall Cop. So security guards or security officers, whatever you want to call them, they tend to have a really bad reputation. People don't take them seriously. And I believe it really boils down to three reasons. The first reason is image. You know, they say the first impression is everything. You know, when somebody sees a security guard or a security officer, they're going to form an impression of that official in the first few seconds that they see them. And if you see a security guard or officer looking sloppy, for example, their shirt is untucked, or they're wearing white sneakers, or they have an earbud in one ear, those are all bad components of a professional image. Those are not professional whatsoever. So those types of factors really play a big role in the reputation of the security field. All it takes is one bad apple to ruin the bunch. So when you have a bunch of these guards that just don't care, you know, they're going to come into work and they're going to dress sloppy and they don't care about their image at all. But what you need to realize when you're working in this field is that you're not just representing yourself. When you put on a uniform, you're representing your entire department and your entire organization, whether it be a contract security company or your entire company if you're working in-house security. So, for example, if you're working in-house at a hospital security department, the way you wear your uniform not only represents yourself and the security department, but it also represents the entire hospital. So when somebody comes into that hospital and they see that your shirt's untucked, they're going to think that that's a sloppy operation. That whole hospital is not effective, and that's going to make them question even going there for service. So that's a huge reason. That's why I put it as my top reason on my list. In my opinion, image is really important, and you really do need to look good in order to convey a professional image. Now that segues into my second point, which is professionalism. So it's not just about looking good, it's also about behaving well. It's how you comport yourself. It's how you carry yourself. The demeanor you have on duty is really important. So one of my other YouTube friends is Lieutenant Hall, and he does a really good job. I can tell that he really carries himself professionally. You can tell he wears the uniform with pride, and that he also treats people with respect. So a lot of security involves customer service. And when you treat people professionally, you're going to get a lot more respect than if you talk down to people. So that's what a lot of security guards or officers don't understand, is when they put on a uniform, that doesn't necessarily give them extra rights. They actually have a bigger responsibility to serve the public and to serve the properties that they protect. So it's really important that you understand that when you're going into this field, that you really need to be professional. And I know a lot of companies are starting to use that term security professional, but that's not necessarily a title that should just be handed out like candy. That's a title that should be earned. So yes, you can call everybody you hire a security professional, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've earned that title. They need to have time in the position to learn what it entails and to understand how to properly present themselves and how to interact with others. So, as you all know, there's a lot of bad security guards out there. I'm sure you've seen a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of videos of security guards acting poorly. You know, for example, they might yell at people, they might assault people when they're not justified, and that just makes the entire security profession look bad. So it's really about acting professionally, acting with the intent to serve the public, understanding that you're there to serve them, not to be above them, not to bark orders at them, and really taking pride in the fact that you are there to help. So, number 3 is also really important. The third item on my list is training. So, obviously, security guards receive some basic training when they first get hired. Unfortunately, a lot of security companies only give a very basic level of training. What does that mean? Well, they tend to just give security guards maybe a few hours. I've seen companies that only give a few hours of training. It might only be 2 to 4 hours, and then they just let them out on their own. Other companies I've seen will give a day or two of training. So you're looking at 8 to 16 hours of training. And some will give a week or more. So it really just depends on the company. How much time do they want to invest in training someone? Now, what I really want security guards or officers to understand is that your training doesn't end with your basic training, with your initial introductory training. Training is a continuous process. You should continue your education even after your initial on-the-job training when you're first hired. You should try to learn ongoing topics in the security field. For example, active shooter awareness is a really big topic nowadays. Understanding how to respond to an active shooter incident is really important because it's a more and more common incident in our line of work. So there are many trainings that are free. For example, through FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, they have a great deal of free trainings online that you can complete to be able to gain an advantage in the field and continue your education. Now, what does that do for you? That makes you more competitive. When you go to apply for a promotion or to apply for a higher level job elsewhere, you're going to be able to put those trainings on your resume, and those will give you an advantage over other candidates who have not completed more training. And we all know, as security guards or officers, there tends to be a lot of downtime. You know, you might be, for example, working an overnight shift and there's not much activity. You might be watching a car dealership. So you're watching a parking lot and there's not much going on. What could you do other than observing and reporting? You could also do some training. You could look at some training videos even on YouTube. YouTube has a lot of security and law enforcement type training videos that are completely free. But it's all about taking the initiative. You need to take the initiative to learn those new topics and to stay ahead in the field. Now, obviously, you could just do the bare minimum, and you could, do your basic observe and report and watch movies on Netflix while you work. Obviously, that's not productive, but that's your choice. If you choose to do the bare minimum and not get ahead in the field, that's fine. But if you want to get ahead and you want to actually be successful in the security field, you really should complete more training. We have a lot of downtime in our line of work, and you should really take advantage of that downtime to be productive and successful in the long term. So I hope that this video helps to clarify the top 3 reasons that the security field is struggling. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not take security guards or officers seriously, and those top 3 reasons are what I feel are the main factors that contribute to that poor reputation. And if security guards or officers have a better image, more professionalism, and enhanced training, they can get ahead and help to break that stereotype and help people to see them in a more positive light. Unfortunately, it's probably going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. Security guards or officers aren't suddenly going to get a lot of respect from the general public. That's just not going to happen overnight. But if we can collectively aim to be more proactive about improving our image, then I believe we can be successful in the long run. So I hope this video helps to clarify what my beliefs are on this matter. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll be glad to hear what you have to say, because this is really a good topic for discussion. I've heard other people say different reasons for security struggling, but I boiled it down to those 3 points. And I tend to like to keep my videos fairly short. So let me know what you think. Like this video, and I'd appreciate if you also subscribed. It's nice to keep the discussion going. I enjoy talking about security-related topics. So thank you everybody for watching, and stay safe.